Okay, WASP Sailors, Daily Debrief is kicking off at the tent right now. We've got a box of prizes from Predict Wind and Rooster. So anybody with questions wins a prize. So come on over and claim something. So we've got Federico Bergamasco, we've got Olivia Castaldi. So Federico's in the 8.2, Olivia's in the 6.9. Round of applause, very good. Okay, so we'll start with Federico. So tough day on the water. Can you just explain how it went with the race and the conditions when you were waiting around?
Yeah, today very super toughy. No easy condition, very difficult. Light wind is to the right and shift to the left in continue. Not easy day, and we are race with the eyes super open and look for the forward and see the pressure, the path, and go this.
And when you weren't racing and you were waiting, were there any signs of what will happen? Anything to help predict the conditions, or did you just wait and it was random?
Yeah, there is see the path, one on the right, one on the left, and it depends when they start, 3 minutes before the race. See where is the right or left, and then take one decision, depends of the wind, and they go here, and then if you are correct, you continue in the end, and probably one tack is better than more tack. And if not good, you can to stay to fly and they go in the correct direction.
And was there any pattern, or was it just, it could be anywhere at any time?
It's better, could be anyway, anytime you go in the correct side.
Nice. And Olivia, you're in the 6.9, so you've been sailing inside the harbour. How was that for you today?
We did 3 races, so there was a lot more wind inside than outside, I think, but it was just as puffy and just as shifty, so it was still hard conditions for us. And then towards the end, it died, so we put AP over A after 3 races.
And how are you finding it in the 6.9? Because you're racing on the same race course as the 78.2s as well. So how are you finding it in the 6.9, where you get a nice clear start, and then at some point, presumably the fleet then all comes together and you get in the mix? What's that like?
Yeah, it's a little complicated because then you have to battle out with people that you're not even racing with, and like they're going downwind while you're going upwind, and they kind of cover you. But it's okay, you make it work, and like you just know your starboard port, windward, blueward, and you just figure it out.
Cool. So we'll open it up to some questions. We've got prizes. Okay, first question. Here we go.
I'll ask it in Italian and in English. So how do you manage dying winds like we had today towards the end, where as you're going, you're on your upwind, and then the wind starts to die out? How does your strategy change? Quindi, come gestisci i venti che calano e come cambia la strategia mentre cala il vento durante la gara?
Yeah, we'll try and answer in English, and then we'll see where we go.
But sure, the transition of the wind is very complicated and difficult. And the principal thing is to stay to fly, and lose the fly is more important. And it's better you go a little bit down with the angle, but it's important to fly always.
Do you have any top tips for going on a high mode or low mode when you've just come out of like a leeward mark and you're being covered by loads of boats? So obviously you need to go high, but how would you do that?
So when you're exiting the leeward mark and there's a lot of boats around, how do you find a mode that helps you to climb high?
Depends of the condition. You know, one moment there is more path in my left or right. Depends the gate tour. There is a more path. Probably high mode is better. And if there is no wind or low mode, it's important to fly and to search the wind. And if there is the boat in front, it's better to tack and go in the other side, and you stay not in the bad wind is not good.
How do I know where to get my ride height for certain wind conditions?
Yeah, so how do you set the ride height for different wind conditions?
Today, if fly very high, is better. I think always, all the time, is better to fly high.
Do you loosen the wang before or after the windward mark?
Do you let the vang off before or after the windward mark?
A little bit before, and then we go in the correct angle. We adjust with the perfect tie.
And does that change if it's windy day? Anything different or the same?
No, when there is a bad wind or the wind changing, I don't touch the Vang or Cunningham. My important thing is to fly with the boat.
How much Vang are you using upwind today?
How much vang upwind today in a light day?
A little bit tie, very little.
And what do you look at on the sail to know if it's perfect or not?
Probably I see when the folds start in the sail down.
So what do you look for to control the fleet? A cosa cerchi per controllare la flotta?
It's not easy to control every boat in the float, but I will stay with 10 boats around me, and I see this boat, what do you do, and control this boat. It's very difficult to control to have more boats in front or back.
When you were approaching the boundary, maybe, I don't know if you did today, but what is your strategy to time your jibes or tacks to don't tack too early or too late? So yeah, do you have a strategy?
So what is your strategy for timing your tacks or your jibes on the boundary? And we can ask you both this because you're sailing on the boundary today. Okay, we'll start with Olivia and then Fede can go.
I mean, I didn't really have to interact too much with the boundary today. I tacked mainly early, but I think it's important to just look at the boats around you and let them know as early as possible that you're gonna need room to tack when you're getting close, because you just don't want to lose those points when you're gonna go out. So you just make sure you let them know early that you're gonna tack, because it's right when the boundary you put your arm on, you say room to tack, because that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, probably with a light wind, I don't stay inside, but when there is a puff and a good position, it's better to tack and or jibe and stay more time if possible in the puff.
If you lose the foil coming up to the top mark, so when you're going to round down, do you prioritize pumping and trying to get up on the foils, or do you keep heading but still low riding to the mark?
So if you're going around the windward mark and you drop off the foil, what's still priority if you drop off the foil at the windward mark?
It depends on if there's a gust or not in that moment. So if you see pressure out to the right or whichever side you just rounded on, you try to go get it. And if you think you can foil, go for it. But if you see that it's completely dead, just head down and wait for more wind.
Yeah, I think the same.
Any tips for judging the ley line for the bottom mark going downwind?
Yeah, that's a good question. Any tips for judging the ley line into the leeward gate?
Yeah, probably with the right window and the line with the angle is more 90 to 100.
Is there anything you're looking at, like on the boat, that helps you to point in the right direction, or?
I see the corner of the trump in front.
Do you guys make any like setup changes with your Vang or Cunningham as you sail out of the wind? So if it's dying breeze, do you like ease your controls, or is it all just with your angle, like you said earlier?
So when you're coming out of the wind into a lull, are you changing the sail, or are you just changing angle?
Yeah, probably when stay in the upwind, yes, a little bit less Vang, and in downwind, no, not change anything.
Okay, we will do 3 more questions.
How do you manage risk versus the reward in marginal conditions with such a big fleet?
So how are you managing the risk versus the reward when it's marginal? So if you see pressure a long way away, how much risk are you willing to take to get to that pressure? Because you might end up a long way from everybody else.
Yes, for me, one day like today, yes, it's a good idea.
Yeah, because it's important to just notice, like, if in days today, like, you know it's light and it's going to be hard to find pressure. If you see a pressure, you just try to go get it.
Okay, 1 and 2. Sorry.
So during like flat water races, does your wand goes all the way to 90 degrees or just slightly less?
Flat water races, does the wand go all the way forwards, or is it just touching the water before it reaches 90 degrees?
No, with the flat water, 90 degrees, like today, is okay for me.
So it's the target is to have it pretty much all the way forwards.
Yeah, the one that you go a little bit in front, but not more 90 degrees.
Okay, final one.
What is your target heeling upwind and downwind in a day like today?
What's your target heel angle? Are you using a Baccaros or something? Yeah.
In the upwind around 20, 22, in downwind 12.
No, don't ask you. I won't ask Olivia, she said. Okay, cool. Thanks everybody. Let's give these guys a round of applause. Thanks for your questions. Thanks Federico. Thanks Olivia.